Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do my labor and delivery story. So, okay, basically, starting Monday, I started having contractions, and okay, no, the Saturday before the Monday, I went to my OB. Was that Saturday? Okay, I had an OB appointment, and I was only 1 centimeter dilated, and I really wasn't getting anywhere. And then that Monday I was having contractions, but I wasn't sure if it was Braxton Hicks contractions or like real contractions. But they were hurting. They were hurting really, really bad. So I went ahead and went to the hospital. I didn't dilate anymore from my OB appointment, so they went ahead and sent me home. They sent me home. They waited for about an hour, then they sent me home, and I was pretty upset because I was really ready to have. Oh shit! Oh, never mind. I was pretty upset because I was really ready to have him. Excuse all this craziness going on. It's him. So yeah, I was really upset because I was really ready to have him, but they sent me home. So I ended up trying castor oil. Me and my fiance, we were really ready, and so we looked up a bunch of different stuff, and so we tried the massages, we tried the baths, we tried the intercourse, and nothing was working. So I tried walking. I walked every day. The last few weeks I was walking. His head had dropped, but nothing else was happening. So I tried the castor oil on Tuesday. Tried the castor oil on Tuesday. Nothing happened. I just had really bad diarrhea all the way until Wednesday. Then on Wednesday I was having more contractions and stuff like that, but I didn't want to go back to the hospital because I wasn't sure. And then on Thursday, I think, or Wednesday night, we did the castor oil one more time because I ended up being dilated. Because we went back to the hospital, I was dilated a little bit more. So I thought, well, since I was a little bit dilated, then maybe the castor oil will work this time. So I did the castor oil one more time on Wednesday night, I believe. And then I woke up on Thursday with really, really bad contractions. Like, it was crazy. So we rushed to the hospital, got all the stuff, rushed to the hospital, and got to the hospital, and they checked me, and I really wasn't dilated anymore. I was like 1.5, and they said they would keep me for an hour and see if I had any progression, because I was having real contractions. So they checked me an hour later, and I was 2.5 centimeters. So they started seeing progression. They checked me in an hour from then, and I was 3.5. So they went ahead and admitted me when I was like 3 or 3.5 centimeters, and I was just in so much pain. So I was in so much pain. So they went ahead and started signing me in to get ready for the epidural. Okay, so yeah, they went ahead and signed me in once I was 3 centimeters, and they called the anesthesiologist, and so he came up, did the epidural. My experience with the epidural was terrible. I was having contractions as he was putting the epidural in, so I felt like I couldn't feel my legs, and I thought that maybe he was paralyzing me. I was just really in so much pain. It was just ridiculous. So he ended up having to take the needle out and prick me like twice before he actually got a good vein or whatever they're trying to get when they put the epidural in there. So that was that got to be really complicated, but and by the time when I got the epidural, everything was okay. So I got the epidural, they laid me down, they lay you on like one side. Well, they try to lay you flat so that it can get all over your body at first. And then they were trying to get his heart rate, Kamden's heart rate, and every time they would touch his head, every time they were trying to do the heart rate, it would like go down or whatever. Every time they checked to see if I was dilated, how many centimeters I was dilated, and he faced, his heart rate would go down. So every time they put their fingers up there, his heart rate would go down. So they were getting worried, and they were thinking that they might have to do a cesarean because his heart rate kept going down. But they ended up switching my body around, and they got the right position. Once they got the right position, his heart rate was stable, and yeah, so I was in labor for about 20 hours. Yeah, I was in labor for about 20 hours, and then finally his head dropped, and I pushed for about 15 minutes, and he came out. And he was 8 pounds, 4 ounces, and 20 inches. So fussy. So yeah, and the hospital I went to was really great. I had a really, he just did all of that because he had to poop. But the hospital I went to was really great. I had a really good recovery. I stayed for about 3 days, I believe. I had him Friday morning, 12. I had 12:07 a.m. So that was on Friday, and I stayed all the way until Sunday. So that was that. So yeah, I was really grateful that I had a natural birth. Natural meaning not a cesarean, and that he came out healthy, no complications. I didn't rip or tear or anything like that. I guess I'm paying for my wonderful birth with a fussy little baby. So bye, you guys. Oh, I left out that they thought that I was gonna be overdue. I had him when I was 39 weeks. 39 weeks in like 6 days, almost 40 weeks. He came the day before his due date. So they thought he was gonna be overdue, and I was really scared that they were gonna have to like do a C-section because it was gonna be there too long, and they're gonna have to induce him. So I'm really glad that I got to naturally induce him myself with the castor oil. But beware, castor oil can be very dangerous. I got that approved by my OB, so make sure you get castor oil approved. Anything that you're doing that's like not walking or having sex, just make sure you get that approved. And he just hit me in the mouth.